like morons that don't have real track records, who are not real legitimate financial and economic researchers being promoted as experts, like Gerald Celente, right? I mean, shit like that. Now, many of you maybe, weren't able to see that, but myself, with my track record, being a real analyst, an investment strategist, I saw it. Having been banned, I saw it. And for some of you out there say, well, you weren't banned, your books weren't banned. Yeah, they were. I had to self-publish. You understand that? There's more than one ways to ban people and censor people. You can just ignore them. You can make their content difficult, if not possible, to access. You understand that? I mean, think about it. Those who had access, those who read Cashing In on the Real Estate Bubble, and actually, if you read America's Financial Apocalypse, you could have put the pieces together. I didn't focus on shorting stocks in that book because there was just way too much going on, and I wanted to give an overall bigger picture. That's why I released Cashing In on the Real Estate Bubble a couple months later. Truth be told, the economic information and Cashing In on the Real Estate Bubble is really not much different at all from there's a couple of chapters from America's Financial Apocalypse I took it from, right? It's basically the real estate bubble chapter. That is chapter 10 from America's Financial Apocalypse, and some other information, demographics and credit bubble information from that book. I put it in Cashing In on the Real Estate Bubble because the big point was to show specific investment strategies. One of the big ways, I argue the primary way of that book to make money, was through shorting the stocks. You could have made that deduction from reading America's Financial Apocalypse, chapter 10, if not the other chapters as well, right? When I talked about what would happen. I'm the only guy in the world that I know of. And if you find otherwise, let us know. I don't know of anyone who wrote about GSEs, right? What a GSE was. Or MBS, right? Or ABS, mortgage-backed security, asset-backed security, GSE, government-sponsored enterprise, and that would be referring to Fannie and Freddie. I wrote vast detail about this stuff. I even showed the size of those markets. I talked about CBOs, CLOs, right? I talked about the derivatives. I talked specifically, did you hear about that alphabet soup debt? Did you hear about that before 2008? Ask yourself the question, did you read about it? Did these guys, a couple of guys out there who were broken clocks, who wrote some books on this topic but didn't cover anywhere near what I covered, did they write about those things in their books? Of course they didn't. So ask yourself, who was the first person in the world to have written about what government-sponsored enterprises were, GSEs, mortgage-backed securities, MBS, asset-backed securities, ABS, the derivatives market, CMOs, CLOs, CDS, credit default swaps, all this stuff. Who was the first person in the world to write about this within the context of a financial crisis? Me. I wrote it in the book, America's Financial Apocalypse, 2006. Who was the only person in the world to have uncovered the fraud, the heist behind JP Morgan's and the FDIC scam of WAMU? Ask yourself, if some gold pumper had exposed that, how much media coverage they would get. Think about it, folks. Think about the track record. Think about me being banned. What's going on? I'll tell you what it is. They want to keep the real experts out. They want to keep pumping all the guys who are morons and who will set the agenda, go along with the agenda of the guys who pay for the media. You see? And some of you say, well, you talked about the Jewish mafia. First of all, what the fuck does it matter what my views are on the Jewish mafia? What does it have to do with letting people know what's going on, right? Should anyone be banned because they talk about the Jewish mafia? Of course not. Those are two separate topics. When you want to hear about investment insight, you want to go with the best, most credible person with the best track record, right? Second of all, I didn't even talk about the Jewish mafia. I didn't write about the Jewish mafia in America's Financial Apocalypse or Cashing In the Real Estate Bubble. I only started talking about it, writing about it, once I was getting banned online and in the media. I started writing about it in 2009, okay, after the financial crisis. Think about that, folks. I want you to understand what's going on, because this is not a one-time thing. This is explaining to you, and you're getting the best insight on how this all works. This is going to keep going on and on and on. Whether it's in the field of healthcare, which of course I've also been banned, and I'm an authority in healthcare. They don't want you to know the truth, right? America's Healthcare Solution. Take a look at the excerpts of the book on the website by the same URL, America's Healthcare Solution. They don't want you to know. It's about feeding you bullshit that's been pumped out by the corporate sponsors, the corporations, the guys that want to screw you. They want to give you misinformation. And the alternative media does the same shit. They do the same shit. And then they also exploit that to sell you alternatives that are worse, right? Worse. So I'm saying you got to avoid all ad-based content. But closing up here, I'm going to close this now because I don't want to put you all to sleep, but think about it. Why am I the only person in the world, even all this time, that's exposed the con game behind gold and silver and all this doomsday shit? Well, first of all, it's because there's not a whole lot of people in the world who really know what's going on. There's not. And second of all, the few people who do know what's going on, who are aware of the manipulation, and I can tell you the regulators, they don't know what the hell's going on. They're so far behind of all the fraud that's going on online, the internet, and YouTube. They have no clue. They have no clue. But the few people who really know what's going on, they don't care to warn you. They want to keep scamming people with their insider trading and all this bullshit and getting in front of the media and front running their stocks and calling themselves activist investors and shit like that. They don't care about exposing they see this as small time bullshit. Scamming the Main Street person. They don't care about that. They don't care. That's the reality, folks. So you better choose your allies very carefully. And I argue that I'm the only person out there that's credible, truly credible, unbiased, and can be trusted. I can't find anyone else. I've been searching, believe me, long and hard. And each time I thought I found someone, I've become disappointed. So, you can believe whatever you want to believe. Do the research. Look at the track record. At the end of the day, whatever you do, stay away from ad-based content. Or you're going to get hosed in every aspect of your life. And the problem is you're probably not going to even realize it until it's way past too late.